Joining us now, former Army and DIA intelligence officer and senior fellow at the Hudson Institute, Michael Pregent. Michael, thanks so much for joining us. I want to show some footage for you and our audience of this Putin rally that took place. Now, the moment I saw this, I went to Twitter and I said, you know, no wonder why there's sanctions against these people, because they're here rallying with Putin. But the BBC did some reporting on this. I want to cite some of the stuff that they said. They talked with several of the individuals that were out there, and they said the majority of those folks said that they were public sector employees, and they were encouraged by their employers to go out there. They also said that the people were embarrassed. Although there were some people that supported it, most of them were teachers and public workers. Do you think that's the majority of the folks that were there as well, from your perspective, sir?
Hey, thanks, Lawrence. Thanks for having me. The people that were there had to be there. This is a forced participation event. And what I do like is that Russian TV cut away from it. So there's enough dissent inside of Russia to where Putin's now thinking about a coup strategy, a coup-proofing strategy to deal with dissenters, to deal with those in the media that are brave enough to hold up signs and protest this war, to deal with people, even his generals. We saw a general arrested today. He's worried about what's going on at home because this war is so unpopular. And like you said, the people in that stadium had to be there. They were forced to be there. Michael, if they didn't show up, they would have probably been arrested.
I'm going to circle back to that general briefly.
Sure.
But I want to talk about that because RT is saying, Russian television is saying that there was a glitch there. You're not buying that?
No, not at all. That was intentional. You cut him off midpoint. You don't cut off a president. I guess you do that in the United States, you know, if you look back at 2020. But you don't cut off Putin in Russia. This is his media. So this is big. There's a lot of dissent inside the media, inside the Kremlin. The FSB is now looking at internal threats. You know, their counterintelligence officers are looking at threats from the General Corps. Putin, anytime he meets with somebody, he's just out of small arms range because he's worried about his generals. He's worried about the dissenters. And, you know, John Sweet and I actually wrote that in that piece, The Battle for Kiev. And we have another one coming up that's talking about his strategy inside of Russia and what he's going to do to those that don't agree with him.
Okay, now let's circle back to that general, because there's several reports on this. Some are saying that it was leaks of the military info that led to the loss of life. And then the other theory was that it was wasteful squandering of fuel. Why do you think Putin targeted that general? Now, we know a lot of generals have already died on the battlefield in Ukraine. Now he's going after someone that is there in the homeland.
Yeah, so 4 generals have died in Ukraine, right? And they've died because of communications breakdown. They went out and they had to strengthen up the Russian soldiers because morale is so bad. But what's happening now is generals that are actually trying to give Putin advice on logistical support, basically telling Putin, we cannot sustain this. We do not have the logistical supply lines to sustain this fight. The javelins, the stingers, the Ukrainian resistance are basically holding Putin back. And so Putin is firing generals. He doesn't want to hear any bad news. So the only people around Putin now are what we call yes men. They're the ones that are going to do whatever he wants, because anybody who even questions it, even if Putin suspects that he's being questioned, that general is likely to be disappeared.
Yeah. And as you know, what I was talking about was some of that Fox reporting there that you can see on Fox.com. Sir, thanks so much for what you've been doing and your insight on this, and thanks for joining Cross Country.
Thanks, Lawrence. Thanks. I appreciate it.
You got it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.